Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today it's time to talk about some important ruling changes which are coming into effect with the release of the newest Pokémon trading card game expansion, Sun and Moon. There have been some official rulings which have just been made available today, so I thought it was right that we went through them. Now, one we've known about for a little while but needs to be gone through again is burn. Now, the old rule of burn was, between turns flip a coin, if tails you take 2 damage counters. The rule has changed. It's now take 2 damage counters between turns and then flip a coin. If heads, you are no longer burned. I.e., you always take burn damage, but you get a chance to get rid of burn, rather than always being burned, but only sometimes taking damage. It means that your opponent will never be able to just switch out of a burn after flipping all heads and not take any damage. You will always have a minimum of 20 damage put on if you burn your opponent. Now, this could be absolutely key. Let's take something like Incineroar GX, for instance. Now, Incineroar GX has a very nice attack. His GX attack, Burn Slam, 200 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Now let's assume that you're attacking something like a Mega Gardevoir EX that has 210 HP. Incineroar does 200. Under the old rules, your opponent flips the heads, retreats, it's not KO'd. Under the new rules, you do 200. Gardevoir takes 20 damage from burn and is immediately KO'd. There is no ifs, buts or maybes. It turns this attack against something like a Gardevoir from a guaranteed KO rather than a 50-50 chance of a KO, and then your opponent can just retreat and not be KO'd. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this does more damage under some conditions, and as I've said in a bunch of videos, like Choice Band and Poison Barb, doing extra damage is always good. Now, we've also had some clarification on a couple of attacks and abilities, so let's roll through them nice and quickly. Tsareena's Queenly Majesty ability, now I have done a video about this. It's the ability where your opponent shows a hand and you take one of their cards and discard it. And it has been confirmed that you choose the card to discard, it's not random. Now, we basically knew that anyway, but it's nice to have the confirmation. Gumshoos GX, his ability has now confirmed as stacking. What that means is, if you've got 2 Gumshoos, you can use the ability twice. So, I use a Gumshoos GX, I see what's in their hand. I then play an N, so my opponent has a new hand after we resolve the effect of N. But if I've got another Gumshoos, I can again see their hand after the N. This is important, because I now don't need to decide what to do. I can just play the N, and I can look before, and I can look after the N. So if I'm looking to see if my opponent has the requisite cards to KO me next turn, I look, my opponent's got the cards they need, so I can then play an N, and then I can look again, and if they don't have the cards, I can keep my active in the active. Very nice. Another one that we're fairly sure about, but we need to know this. This is the CLEFAIRY from Evolutions. It has the Metronome attack. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. Now, in Expanded, you can use Mew from Fate's Collide, which will then be a Psychic type, and you can copy CLEFAIRY's attack, and you can use Dimension Valley to bring it down to a 2 energy attack, i.e. now you're using it with just a DCE, and you can copy your opponent's GX attack. Very nice. So you're using Mew to copy CLEFAIRY to copy the GX attack. But now you're doing your opponent's GX attack for just a double colourless energy, regardless of what the cost actually is. The question is, of course, does this count as your 1 GX attack for the game? As we all presumed, yes, it does. That means that if you use CLEFAIRY to copy your opponent's GX attack, or you use Mew to copy CLEFAIRY to copy your opponent's GX attack, you are then not allowed to use one of your own. Of course, this had to be the ruling, otherwise CLEFAIRY would become just about the best card in the format, and it would get very, very annoying with GX attacks going all over the place. And the final ruling, and I'm not 100% sure why this ruling had to be given, but never mind. Dragonair's attack reads, during your next turn, you may attach as many energy as you like from your hand to your Pokémon. Now, I did a video about Dragonite where I looked at this Dragonair ability, and it has been confirmed that if you evolve that Dragonair into a Dragonite, you can still attach as many energy as you like to the Dragonite. Well, of course you can. I mean, read the attack. The attack says, to your Pokémon, not to this Pokémon. Now, if it allowed you to attach to this Pokémon, evolving to Dragonite would turn it into a different Pokémon and you wouldn't be able to, but I think this is a read the card moment. However, these are the official rulings that have come out in the official rulings document for Sun and Moon, and you guys seem to like this information, these PTCGRadio news bites, so as it's important news that came out today and does change how we look at some small elements of the game, I thought it was worth sharing. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There is a comment section. Tell me what you think about the rulings. Go nuts. Be nice. There are buttons to both like this video and subscribe to this channel. Could I please suggest you use them both? Follow me on Twitter @TheWassy if you're not doing so already. And of course, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.